Good to see everybody again and welcome. This is my message for everyone for 2026 to wish everyone a happy new year. And that's what we say to people when the new year comes. Happy New Year, wishing that it will be happy for everyone. A year is a long time, 365 days. It's a fairly long time. It's It goes very fast. We know that 2025 went really fast and goes quicker than we imagine. The problem with time is we have no way of stopping it or slowing it down. Even when we're asleep, time continues on moving on. During the night when we're asleep, time will continue moving along. Or if someone gets sick and has to have an anesthetic and be put to sleep, time will continue moving on as well. We cannot stop it. It's amazing that our experience of time is just 1 second at a time. And what's gone is gone really and over with. We may have a memory of it, but that's all we have. We cannot go back, even though the science fiction films have time machines where you can go back and forward. But in reality, in everyday life, we're not able to go back into time and change anything or experience something again. So our experience of time, if we think about it, is very limited. We only can experience time 1 second at a time. And once an experience is over, it's over. We may be able to remember it, but we won't be able to go back and experience the same period of time again. So the new year is a new beginning where we begin again. That's why people have a big interest in New Year resolutions, where people decide they will go on a diet or they will join a gym and take exercise and or take up some new hobby, whatever it might be. They might decide to walk or run or do a bit of jogging or whatever it is, and or take up a new course or some new pastime or join maybe a voluntary group, which is a good thing. And we in the church, in the parish, we like to see people who volunteer maybe to be a minister of the word, to do the readings at Mass, also to maybe become a minister of Holy Communion, to distribute communion at Mass and maybe give it to those who are sick and that kind of thing. We try and encourage young people to serve Mass. We have in this parish, we're lucky we have somebody who trains our servers, trains them how to serve Mass and gives them a whole introduction to what it's all about. We have people in the parish as well who help with the flowers, the altar societies in Callow and in Killaster. So the altar societies would be mainly women, or exclusively women, I think. They help to organise the flowers, buying flowers, getting flowers, arranging flowers in the church, in both churches, and sometimes they come on a Saturday and get those flowers ready for the Sunday. That's another voluntary activity that people get involved in. We could do with some more of those people as well. And there's another group of people then, and what they do is they go around with the baskets at the offertory collection and they collect the offertory envelopes during the Mass at the offertory time. And then afterwards they bring them and put them into the sacristy and we take them away and we count them. Also, looking for people, I suppose, to become a member of the Pastoral Council, which is a group that meets with myself to discuss the business of the parish and especially the pastoral activities and the things that we organise here, the events and the pastoral work that we do here in the parish, and see what we can do to help improve all that. So that's the Pastoral Council. So there's a number of groups that are involved in the parish and that people might like to join now in the new year if you have time or whatever. People join other groups as well, community groups like the Community Centre group or the Community Care group. Or some people join the St. Vincent de Paul Society where they help the poor, and there are a lot of poor now and we should always be aware of them, and so on and so forth. So the New Year's resolutions maybe to be a nicer person. We're always trying to be nicer people overall. And one of the things that we need to be, if we want to be nicer, is to be patient with each other and more forgiving, more tolerant, more helpful, and kinder, and all those things as well. So Those are good New Year's resolutions. Um, there's no point making the New Year's resolution to do something um, very difficult because um, people would say, I'm going to run 20 miles every day. And that's not a good New Year's resolution because it's not going to be easy to run 20 miles every day, especially if you're not fit to start with and you're hardly able to move, never mind run. A person won't be able to run 20 miles every day then, and that would be unrealistic. So, whatever New Year's resolutions we decide to go with or to have, they need to be realizable. They need to be something we genuinely can do, and that's not going to take too much time or effort every day or whatever. So I would suggest not to take on unrealistic New Year's resolutions. They will not work, and they won't occur. And one thing that some people decide to do, and it's a lovely thing to think about, is to write a kind of a diary, to write, a little account of what happens each day, put it down in a book or a diary or whatever. Um, and it's hard to do that because it means that you give up a portion of your time every evening or every night to write down what happened and the people you met during the day, some of the interesting events that happened, and make a record of them. And then at the end of the year, this time next year, at the end of 2026, it's lovely to go back and read that book and say, oh, there on the 2nd of January, someone came and I had forgotten that. They came to see me. I was surprised. I didn't know they were coming. Whatever it is. So that's a very nice thing to do. So looking into the future then, at the beginning of 2026, we all will have certain things we're looking forward to. We're all looking forward to maybe a wedding that we're going to, some event that's going to be happening in the parish or in our own family or whatever. Maybe the baptism of some relative or whatever it might be. A wedding, as I say. We know in the parish here we will be having confirmation on the 7th of March, which is not far away. It'll soon come very quickly once the new year arrives. The 7th of March we have confirmation here in the parish for 16 pupils from the two schools. Later on then in May we will have First Communion for 4 children, and that's a small number, but we will have communion for 4 children. As I say, we have a number of weddings scheduled for the parish that will take place here in this parish, in Callow Church and Classer Church. And there may be a few baptisms, although not many children have been born in recent times, so I can't imagine there will be that many baptisms in the new year. But then who knows? Maybe there's more children to be born than I know about. So there are certain things that we know are going to be happening here in the coming year, and that are going to be happening for us as individuals and as families elsewhere that we're invited to, or whatever it might be, celebrations, whatever kind of things they might be. So there's the known events that we're looking forward to, and they're in the book, they're in the diary, we have them written down as something that's going to happen. But the other thing, which is a more interesting thing in a way, is the things we don't know about, the unseen or the unforeseen things. And of course, a big example of that is a funeral. Nobody knows who is going to die in the coming year. We don't want anyone to die, obviously. Nobody wants to die. It's not a nice thing to think about. But unfortunately, in the law of averages, there will be people who will die, who are very well at the moment, probably in good health and not expected to pass away at all. And yet, every year, some of those people do pass away, which is the sad side of a year. Losing somebody, maybe somebody getting sick, having cancer and being more and more debilitated and then passing away. And that can be very difficult for a family, and very difficult for the person themselves, sickness and then death. And sometimes there's even tragedy as well, which is something we don't even want to imagine or think about. We keep hearing about all the deaths on the roads, which are sad and terrible. And so maybe one good New Year's resolution that we should all take very seriously is to drive carefully on the roads. We now go around with the illusion that we're very busy, and that's an illusion really. And maybe it's not real at all, but we have convinced ourselves that we're very busy and that we have a lot to do. We always are in a hurry or whatever, and it's not good to be in a hurry driving a car. That's the one thing we should always remember. When we step into a car to drive it, we should decide, I'm not going to be in a hurry. If I arrive 10 minutes late where I'm going, that's okay, because isn't it better to arrive 10 minutes late than to be in a big crash where I might get injured badly, I might kill someone else or whatever. So remember, whatever journey you're going on, please do not rush and don't make silly mistakes on the road, and especially on motorways and on busy roads. That's what people do, they make silly mistakes. And the worst thing of all, of course, is to consult your phone when you're in the car, looking at texts, even answering the phone or touching it or looking at it. A second is the one thing I would ask you to remember in this podcast or this video, is that a second is a very long time in a car, especially if you're the driver. That's a second. A lot can happen in a second when a person is going at a certain speed. So if you're going at 50 kilometers an hour, a second is a long time because you've traveled a long distance in that second. If you're going then maybe at 80 kilometers an hour, a second is a very long time because you've traveled a long distance in that second. A lot can happen. The car can hit something, somebody can hit you, an animal can appear, whatever. Then if you're going at 100 kilometers an hour, a second is much more serious then, because of the speed that a person is going at and the amount of care that's needed. And we don't often give due care and attention to our driving at all. We just don't do that. Then driving at night, of course, is extremely complex. It's a different experience from driving in the daytime. Things don't look the same, and we're not really having the same control that we have in the daytime because we cannot actually see as far as we could in the daytime. So we need to be extremely careful, and maybe this is my piece of advice for all of us who drive cars, and that would include a lot of yourselves, I would imagine, is to be extremely careful driving cars or driving any vehicle in 2026, because we have the statistics that will be given to us now before the end of this year, how many people have lost their lives in Mayo and in other parts of Ireland and so on. Wouldn't it be great if at the end of this year, 2026, we had a statistic to say that nobody was killed on any of the roads? That would be an incredible statistic. And you can imagine the amount of sadness that would not be there around because of people not dying and so on. So that's something to think about. But indeed, in all the things that we do, we need to give them due care and attention. If we lived our lives in that way, I think the world would be a much better world. So just to wish you all a very happy new year, 2026. And please God, with God's help, and we do need God's help, and we pray for His help now. Please God, in this new year, 2026, we will be happy. And we will be able to create happiness for ourselves and especially for others. There's a lot of people who need us to help them, who need us to support them, who need us to love them. They need our love and our care and our support. And as well as having a happy new year ourselves, we should make as much an effort as we can to make life as happy as we can for everyone else. So that's my prayer, that's my wish for all of you who are watching this. I really hope it will be a happy new year, and maybe a special year that we can look back on and remember and thank God for things that happened and things that we did and so on. And that would make it even more special. So that's my wish. May God be with us every step of the way during this year. So thanks very much.